morning, guys, from the capital of Georgia, the city of Tbilisi here. New country for me here. This is a country in the Caucasus. And today it's my first day, basically I've arrived yesterday. It's a flipping rainy day, check it out. It's been pissing down and apparently it's not going to stop raining today. So I've decided that today we should head out of the city and head to another place where today apparently it's better weather. And yeah, it's one of Georgia's most historic and most famous places, and also the birthplace of one of the darkest persons in European history. So, let's go take a bus. Let's check it out. Vamos! Right, guys, so I'm taking this minivan here, which is going to get me to Gori, the city of Gori, which is 1.5 hours away from here, and it's the birthplace of a very famous man here, probably the most famous Georgian that ever existed. I'm going to drive in here, and it's going to cost me 7 lari, which is about €3. No, that's €2 something. Check it out. Right, guys, I'm now in this collective minivan taxi here on my way to the city of Gori. And check it out, guys. Here, this seems to be like an English car. They've got the wheel on the other side. Check it out. Right, guys, I have made it to a windy but less rainy Gori here in Georgia. Now, this country, Georgia, due to its strategic location in the Caucasus Mountains between Europe and Asia, had been conquered many times during its history. It had been conquered by the Arabs, the Persians, the Turks, and then the Russians. And so it became part of the Soviet Union before it became independent in 1991 after the collapse of the Soviet Union. And this city here, Gori, is a must-visit place in Georgia. This small city is the birthplace of probably one of the 2 darkest men of European and human history. It's the birthplace of Josef Stalin. And right here is the Stalin Museum, guys. Check it out. This city here, Gori, is located between the mountains, and thus it's raining a bit less here than down in Tbilisi. It's about an hour northwest of Tbilisi. And what is pretty funny here about this place is that normally when a guy like Josef Stalin or Adolf Hitler comes from your town, probably you're ashamed of it. You know, in Austria, Adolf Hitler was Austrian, and in Austria, everyone is ashamed of Adolf Hitler being from their country. You wouldn't find any monument, you know, honoring Adolf Hitler or something. But here, in Gori, people seem to be super proud of the fact that Stalin, who killed millions of people and was a dictator, came from here. And not far away from here, from Gori, actually, yeah, closer to Gori than the capital Tbilisi, is the region of South Ossetia, which in 2008 had been annexed by Russia, annexed by Vladimir Putin. So the war that's going on in eastern Ukraine already happened here in 2008. And after the Russian aggression in 2008, and after Russia occupied 20% of Georgia's territory, the Minister of Culture of Georgia at the time wanted to change the content of this museum here from the Stalin Museum to the Museum of Russian Aggression. But the city council here of Gori decided against it. There is Mr. Josef Stalin. Now, one thing, guys, which maybe didn't know about Georgia, well, I didn't, to be honest, is that Georgia has its own script. Check it out, guys. This alien-like script looks a bit like Hebrew or Persian. Georgian, by the way, is one of the oldest and most ancient languages in Europe. And yeah, they've preserved their ancient script as well. Here we can see a small reminder in this museum of the Russian occupation of Georgia, of South Ossetia. They've put this entire palace here to honor the times of the village's most famous boy, Josef Stalin. It's just a pity that everything here inside the museum is written in either Georgian or Russian. So yeah, I cannot read any of these scripts. But it's pretty interesting that Stalin, this man, despite basically being a criminal dictator, killing millions of people, here in this city, in this small city in Georgia, he's still held in high regard. He is, despite his crimes against humanity, still regarded as seemingly a great ambassador to this small city. Stalin, in my eyes, wasn't better than Hitler. It was the same evil, different ideologies, but the same evil. Both killed all of the opposition, both killed millions of people, millions of innocent people in gulags and concentration camps, and yeah, here in Gori, time in this museum in particular, I'm not going to say in the entire city, but in this museum, time seems to have stood still on the day of Stalin's death in 1953. This building right here, where I've just come out from, is probably the only place in the world where Josef Stalin is still worshipped. I think even outside of this building, in this small town where he was born, you won't find any reminiscence or any reminders of the Stalin times. I mean, to find a place in the world where Josef Stalin is still worshipped, you'll have to come here, to this building, to the Josef Stalin Museum. And right next to it, guys, something which I've also got to show you guys is the carriage, the ancient personal carriage, I should say, of Josef Stalin, with which he got to the Delta Conference during World War II, where he met President Roosevelt and Winston Churchill. Check it out. They've still got the Soviet Union sign on it. And Josef Stalin's museum is in this particular place of Gori for a reason. Right behind me, guys, is the house where Josef Stalin grew up, and it's right in front of the museum. This, guys, is the house of Josef Stalin, where he grew up as a child. Check it out, guys. The home of the biggest communist dictator in history, where he developed his communist fantasies. Back in the days, you would come here, knock on the door, and ask for a young Josef Stalin to come out. I can tell you one thing, this small Georgian town named Gori here is obviously world famous for one man, Josef Stalin, a communist dictator that ruled over the Soviet Union for far too long and murdered far too many people. And that's the major reason why people come here to Gori. It's actually one of Georgia's biggest tourist attractions. But the city is also famous for one other thing. It is also one of Georgia's oldest cities. And just a few blocks away from here is the reason for that. I can tell you one thing though, Tbilisi seems a bit prettier. Georgia is also desperately aiming EU membership. Wherever you go, you'll see EU flags alongside the Georgian flag. But of course, the situation with Russia and its geographical location right next to Russia, and the fact that Russia still occupies 20% of its territory since 2008, makes it a bit of a tricky one. Check it out, guys. We can even see a NATO flag right here. We can see a Georgian flag, a NATO flag, an EU flag and a Ukrainian flag. Tells you a lot about the way people think here about Russia. We have reached the cobblestone old town of this small town named Gori. And right ahead of us, on top of that rocky hill, we can see Gori Castle, the oldest part of Gori. A bit similar to Ankara Castle, where we were last time. Check it out. This ancient castle is overlooking the city of Gori. And here we can see a wild dog. By the way, guys, here in Georgia, there's many wild dogs around. Quite surprisingly. This ancient castle right here has survived many wars. The city has always been of great interest to great powers due to its strategical location. It is actually on the Silk Road, on the famous Silk Road. The other reason why the city is famous, Gori Castle. Now let's head to the center and go for some food, because I'm flipping hungry. If there is a center in this small town, surely there is. I've come to this traditional Georgian restaurant here, check it out. This stylish wooden place, you can even close the door here. It's really nice, I like it. Ordered myself some Georgian food, so I'm buzzing. Right, my Georgian food has arrived, guys, check it out. Got myself some bread here for my Georgian soup. It's like a soup with cow inside, so with cow meat inside. Looks good. And these guys are the famous Georgian dumplings. I've already tried them yesterday for dinner. I've already forgotten the name of them, unfortunately. And they're filled with beef. And yeah, it's very special to eat these dumplings. You actually hold them here by the handle. So these dumplings, you hold them by this handle, and then you just bite into them. And they're very juicy inside, so you've got to suck the juice out. So yeah, bon appetit. Flipping delicious, man. Check it out. From the inside it's filled with beef and they're quite juicy, so it's really good. I love them. Don't know what they're called. Well, you Georgians tell me in the comments, and they're delicious. So try these out, guys. Georgian food is delicious, guys. Maybe one of the most underrated cuisines in the world. So it's a very unique way to eat these dumplings, taken down by the thick handle. And yeah, delicious. And now let's try out the soup. It's like a beef soup, a Georgian beef soup. So yeah, let's check it out. There's also some rice inside, I can see. Let's check it out. It's quite good, quite tasty. And all of this, by the way, guys, the dumplings, the soup and the bread came down to a total of approximately €6, which, considering that we're here in a restaurant, a traditional restaurant here, it's not a lot. So, Georgia, great food and great place to visit. Did you read any of that? Welcome to Georgia. This is the center, the modern part of Gori, Stalin's hometown. It looks a bit like Hebrew or Persian, the script. Check it out, guys. Gori Stadium with the Caucasus mountains in the background. Beautiful setting in this small Caucasian town. Right guys, that's it for today's video. I'm back in Tbilisi and it's been a great day exploring the hometown, the little hometown of one of the darkest persons in human history. And yeah, now I'm back in the capital and I'll see you guys tomorrow when we explore the capital of Georgia together. Thanks for watching, love you all, see you in the next one.